Hi, I'm Greg Hunter, and this is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, August 12th, 2011. Well, down 600 points, up 400 points, down 500 points, up 400 points. This is the first week they had consecutive days of 400-point swings or more in a single week on the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. This is just absolutely unbelievable. And I think it is really the canary in the coal mine of how worried Wall Street really is. These aren't mom and pop traders making the market swing like this. These are Wall Street sharks, short sellers, traders cashing in on the backs of people who put their hard-earned money into the stock market in the form of an IRA or a 401k, trying to make enough money to retire. I think the big winners in all this volatility will be Wall Street. I think they're doing nothing more than have another round of money harvesting from the people who prop up the market, the people who put money in week after week in their IRAs and 401ks. And the reason why this is going on is because of all the nervousness over debt problems in the Western world. The United States had a debt downgrade. They really had a dollar downgrade. They have tremendous amounts of debt. We need to cut 3 or 4 more trillion just to scratch the surface. On the other side of the pond in Europe, they have tremendous debt problems. Now Italy and Spain need bailouts. They're teetering on bankruptcy. The EU says that they're going to start buying some of their bonds. We'll see how far that goes. The problem is that the Western world, the central banks, are throwing money, printing money, and throwing it at this debt problem, trying to fix it. And I just don't think they're going to have any luck at all. This is historic. This has never happened before in history, and it is a giant, monumental problem that is far from over. Next up, because of all these debt problems, we have riots around the globe. And one of the real hot spots this last week was the UK. They had cars on fire, windows smashed, clashes with police. The Prime Minister Cameron says he's given the police, kind of a free hand to put this down. Of course, not a mention as to why these people are so angry. They have cutbacks, they have austerity, and meanwhile, the British banks are being bailed out. These are the same people that helped destroy the economy in Great Britain and also helped destroy the economy in the world, and they're getting the bailouts, and hey, they're going to get a nice bonus this year. I'm very sure of that. Next up, Afghanistan. 30 soldiers died in one crash. It was the worst single loss of life, I think, or one of the worst since the war started. Many members of Special Ops SEAL Team 6. Now, there's the official story out there is that Taliban baited SEAL Team 6 and these special ops and people to come in. They hit them with an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade, and brought down the helicopter. Now, there's also been rumors that this was a setup, that the U.S. government was behind this, that they did it because the special ops guys knew they didn't really kill Osama bin Laden. I almost said Obama, I don't mean that. Osama bin Laden, they knew they didn't kill him, that Osama bin Laden died of renal failure years ago. I don't know if that's true. I think the members of SEAL Team 6 got their man. But I do know this. There have been reports from bona fide news organizations that have said that the U.S. government has paid the Taliban for protection for their trucks to get supplies to our troops to fight the Taliban. And one of the recent stories came out just last month from a bona fide news source. So maybe that's why these stories get started. I also know I'm very sad about this, and my heart goes out to the families of those brave soldiers who died in Afghanistan and all the service people that are over there serving and who have been wounded or killed in action. Next up, gold hit another all-time high, more than $1,800 an ounce. Of course it backed off. There's going to be wild swings in the price of gold, both up and down. Fasten your seatbelt for that one. The money masters don't want to see a gold standard. They don't want to see gold do well. They want to keep being able to print money at will and hand it out to their friends at will. And gold is the real money in the world. I think the overarching trend is up, but be on the lookout for big downturns in gold. And also, like this last week or so, big upturns as well. Unemployment numbers came out, and the mainstream media said, "Oh, this is great news! 395,000 jobs, 395,000 people. Only 395,000. Let me reframe that. Only 395,000 people applied for unemployment benefits, and that's a decrease from last week." Only 395,000 people applied for unemployment benefits. That's supposed to be good news? That's supposed to be a trend? That's statistically insignificant, really. The small drop below 400,000. The trend, according to the experts I talked to, and even the Federal Reserve, is for the economy to slow down. And unemployment, if you counted it the way Bureau of Labor Statistics did it in 1994 or earlier, according to John Williams at shadowstats.com, who gives us real numbers, is 27.7%. And speaking of real numbers, this is a real number. The Federal Reserve basically admitted the economy is so bad it's going to keep a key interest rate at near 0% for the next 2 years. That's like saying, wow, the Fed has completely failed and things are so bad it's not going to get better for at least 2 years. So we're going to loan money out at 0%, which is below the inflation rate. You're actually paying people to take the money. If you use the Fed's numbers, it's around 3% inflation. Well, it means if it's 0%, they're getting money for negative 3%. And if you use real numbers like John Williams at Shadow Stats, the inflation number is near 11%. The economy is not going to get any better anytime soon, and the Federal Reserve is signaling just that. Finally, one of the stories that just sticks in my craw, another $73 billion bailout for Bank of America. Fannie Mae is buying $73 billion of their troubled mortgages, its toxic assets. That's what they've been called in the past. And if you remember at the first of this year, something I've been harping on that neither the Democrats, Republicans, or mainstream media will even make a mention about is that Tim Geithner forgave Bank of America for $127 billion of possible buybacks and, well, I think, probable buybacks of toxic assets they pumped into Freddie Mac. So both mortgage giants are doing their part to keep Bank of America afloat and bailed out. That's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for supporting USAWatchdog.com.